it was so much out of the box. I mean, and just so much out of the ordinary, because there wasn't another one to compare it to. It scared people and overwhelmed people in a way, and a lot of people thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, but just couldn't see it happening. And I mean, even within, you know, our own people to a certain extent, because you couldn't say, oh yeah, well I saw one of those 6 months ago when I was so and so, and so we didn't have any history as far as that. And so the big turning point, though, and the eye opener for the church and the community was after we had come in here. It was still just a big metal building with black walls, and we had framed up the front, the entrance and all that, but there was nothing but stud walls in there. And the Lord just said, go ahead and put the fronts on all those buildings before Christmas. And so we kind of changed our game plan, and that's what we did. We put the front on the First Bank, Granny's Kitchen, Perks Pastries, and the bed and breakfast, and people could come in and actually see those facades across there. You know, so for the first time, it came off of those little crayon colored drawings. We went from crayon to concrete to, you know, actual structure. And so when people saw that in the church, it lit a fire. And you know, if you tell people one thing and they can get excited, but you can show them what you've told them, and they can get excited and motivated. And when you're motivated, then you can cover a lot of ground quick. And that's kind of what holds the church back today, not just our church, but the church in general. People get motivated about the wrong things, and so that's why there's not a lot of kingdom things going on, because people aren't motivated, and the Lord's give us all kind of signs. So that's why, you know, I just think it's so God that we're at our 20th year, and you know, we're in a building of promise that the Lord said, I'm going to do it. And when we didn't even think it was going to happen, it happened. And so and there's so many miracles attached to it, because and it's funny miracles, but it's miracles like a lot of the buildings here that on Main Street and back there, is a majority of it's built out of molding. A great friend, a great man, Wilson Roberts, that's the last house he built, and I say this all the time, and I said that at his celebration, the last house he built, I think it's so cool because it was God's house, and he and his brother-in-law Art was a huge blessing to this church, in literally, compared to what things cost, work for pretty much nothing in here to get us where we are as far as the structure and framing and all that. And then another friend of mine, Bill Mott, came in and helped us with the mountain and the talking trees and all that. And he is a fellow children's ministry pastor that I met when I was in college, and he does a lot of set building. And so you know, throughout my life, God has just allowed me to you know, cross paths with people that may not go anywhere right this minute, but later on. And that's what happened with Wilson, a great friend of our families, and with Bill, great brother in the Lord with children's ministry, and we met at the right time, and that helped us to have what we have here. You know, if I hadn't have met those two guys, the church wouldn't look like what it looks today. So, you know.